Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Classifying Cryptids. I know in the announcement video I said that I would go through a lot of the creatures that are believed to be descended from prehistoric creatures, but I encountered a bit of a problem. The thing is, while researching these cryptids, one of them had so much evidence, so many theories, that it would be very hard, if not impossible, to fit it in a video along with the other cryptids. That cryptid is possibly the most famous cryptid of all time. It's Bigfoot. I'll start with a brief overview. Bigfoot is a large ape-like creature with hair all over its body and stands at anywhere from 6 foot 6 inches to 10 feet, or 2 to 3 meters tall. He is a biped. Most of his famous casted footprints show a mid-tarsal break in his foot. His feet are also flat. He most likely walked flat-footed, unlike humans. This seems small, but remember it for the evidence part of the video. Lastly, Bigfoot species or genus is found all over the world. In the Himalayas as the Yeti, in East Asia as the Yeren, in Australia as the Yowie, in Florida, Arkansas, and North Carolina as the skunk ape, and the list just goes on and on. Okay, to start, I'll narrow the classification down. This will be extremely easy. Domain, Eukarya. Kingdom, Animalia. Phylum, Chordata. Class, Mammalia. Order, Primate. Family, Hominidae. Now, genus and species is where it gets a bit tough. There are two popular theories on this. One is that Bigfoot is a species of Gigantopithecus. Gigantopithecus was a genus of ape that lived from 2 million years to 100,000 years ago. It was about 3 meters tall, or almost 10 feet tall, making it the largest ape to ever exist. Some cryptozoologists state that Bigfoot could be a small population of Gigantopithecus that survived and spread out all over the world. However, there are quite a few issues I have with this theory. First of all, Gigantopithecus fossils have only been found in East Asia. This means unless they somehow got across the land bridge between Russia and Alaska, there is no way that they could have been in the Americas. Second, they have only found teeth and mandibles, meaning we don't really have an idea of how it stood. The massive size and weight would mean that it most likely would have been quadrupedal. It also definitely wouldn't be as fast as Bigfoot is shown to be in many of the videos. Some scientists say that Gigantopithecus wasn't even a hominid and was closely related to orangutans, which makes sense in my opinion. The other theory is that it's some kind of early human species, one that evolved a bit differently, one that kept the hair all over its body. It also evolved to become, on average, much taller than a normal human, and it had to have evolved a different way to walk than humans. This means that it split off from other humans just as they were evolving their way to walk. This theory states that the normal height of an adult Bigfoot would be from 6 foot 6 inches to 8 feet tall. Overall, I agree with the early human theory more, because it accounts for Bigfoot being able to stride at a reasonable pace and it being bipedal. I could also see some sort of human species making its way around the world much easier than a Gigantopithecus. Now, the main flaw this theory has is that the closest species in the family Hominidae to Bigfoot are the very early species like Paranthropus. However, remains of these species have not been found in the Americas. Also, I am grouping Bigfoot, Yeti, Yowie, Yeren, skunk ape, almasti, and whatever other names there are into the same genus at least, because they are all very similar. And because Bigfoot and his cousins seem to differ from most of the Homo genus quite a bit, I would place these cryptids into their very own genus. The genus name? Magnipedis. Literally, big feet. The genus would be close to Paranthropus and Australopithecus. However, I would put the different types of Bigfoot into their own species, similar to bears. Bigfoot being like the grizzly bear to the Yeti's polar bear. So here are the scientific names I came up with, and I'll provide a brief explanation for why I chose each one. Bigfoot would be Magnipedis americanus, because they are seen in the Americas. Yeti would be Magnipedis yeti, because I just think Yeti would be a good scientific name. Yowie would be Magnipedis australis, because it is found in Australia. Yeren would be Magnipedis orientalis, because it is found in the oriental regions of East Asia. The skunk ape would be Magnipedis palus, because palus is swamp in Latin, and if you didn't know, the skunk ape is basically just Bigfoot that is known to live in swamps. Orang pendek would be Magnipedis minim, and this is a special case because the orang pendek is still a hairy humanoid creature, but it's a bit smaller. It's actually shorter than the average person, but I still counted it with Bigfoot because it's very similar. It's just like a pygmy version. Those are the most famous bipedal humanoid ape creatures. There are more, so if you please, you can add others in the comments. That's it for my theory. Now to look at the possibility of this thing even existing. The video that convinces me the most was, funnily enough, shot in the 60s by a couple of cowboys. I'm referring, of course, to the Patterson Gimlin Film. This is the most famous evidence of Bigfoot of all time. Some of you may briefly recall it being debunked as a man in a suit on BBC, but this is not actually the case. The suit that was claimed to be the original suit was actually a different color. Also, note the elongated arms in the original suit. They are proportionately much longer than a human's. This means, to move their hands in the way that Bigfoot does in the film, they would need animatronics which weren't available back then. A man named John Green interviewed Disney executive Ken Peterson in 1969, who told him that to create something like it, they would have to resort to animation. Also, a lot of the witnesses who claim to have been involved in the creation of the suit give contradicting accounts. And this is where that mid-tarsal break comes in. Bigfoot in the film actually walks a bit different to a human, and it actually supports him having a mid-tarsal break. There aren't many films that are as believable as that one, especially today, when everything can be called CGI. Another thing is that there are quite a few scientists who think there's a chance it exists. The most notable and relevant is renowned anthropologist and primatologist Jane Goodall. Here's the clip.
Thank you very much for coming in to join us today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
If you'd like to talk with Dr. Goodall, our number is 1-800-989-8255, 1-800-989-TALK. As always, you can surf over to our website at sciencefriday.com. Let's go to Sharif in Philadelphia. Hi.
How are you doing? It's a pleasure to speak with you. I wanted to ask you two quick questions. I wanted to know if you believe there are any undiscovered large ape species, and I believe that the bonobo chimpanzee is a subspecies of the chimp or a separate species.
Chimpanzees, bonobos, and humans genetically are equidistant. As for the other, you're talking about Yeti or Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Is that what he's talking about?
Yes, it is.
Is that the message I'm missing here?
I think that's the message you're missing.
Is that right, Sharif?
Pretty much.
I'm out of the loop. Go ahead.
Well, now, you'll be amazed when I tell you that I'm sure that they exist.
You are?
Yeah. I've talked to so many Native Americans who've all described the same sounds, 2 who've seen them. I've probably got about, 30 books that have come from different parts of the world, from China, from from all over the place. And there was a little tiny snippet in the newspaper just last week which says that British scientists have found what they believe to be a Yeti hair, and that the scientists in the Natural History Museum in London couldn't identify it as any known animal. Now, that was just a wee bit in the newspaper, and obviously we have to hear a little bit more about
Well, this
that.
age of DNA, if you find a hair, there might be some cells on it.
Well, there will be, and
There
I'm
will
sure that's what they've examined, and they
Yeah.
don't match up. What this my little tiny snippet says, they don't match up with DNA cells from known animals, so apes.
Overall, in believability, I give Bigfoot a 7 out of 10. That's it for this video. If you made it this far, leave a like and maybe subscribe. With such a wide world of cryptids, you can expect a lot more videos soon. So, if you're interested in cryptids, the paranormal, biology, or just like this side of YouTube, stay tuned. Cryptid catalog closed.